welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch. And, well, I don't know if this is going to make audio tonight. Sometimes we put these on audio, sometimes we don't. But anyways, Bill, we're kind of jumping into some, just going to warn the people right off the bat. We're jumping into some spoilerish territory.
Spoilers, unless you're a TNA Plus subscriber that watched the sneak preview of this upcoming Thursday's show of Impact.
Thursday, loved it. Yeah, so we'll give you time. I'll just kind of slowly go over this.
J-Bone going slow. This is shocking.
Oh, I know. Well, I work tonight too, so I'm exhausted. Even from a short shift, Friday night kicked my ass. Anyways, so Bill was at the tapings tonight, and we already discussed this, and we're like, hey, if they're showing a preview, something's going on. Something's going down. And we're, somebody's showing up. Otherwise, they wouldn't do this, because he said it. Well, you even said it said, well, it's one of those things where news is going to break if they don't do something. So they did, So, yeah, it was probably a limited amount of people that saw it, but you at least had the opportunity to do it because they were doing specials the last few days leading up to this, up to these tapings. So we're just letting you know right now, if you don't want to be spoiled for this coming Thursday, now is your time to exit and stay off of social media. Yeah. Like, whatever you got to do.
Yeah, it's a Access TV spoiler. However, it was broadcast, so it is out there. And
right.
I know the individual we're going to discuss that debuted is already discussing it. So it's one of those things where it is public knowledge, but depending on how you view TNA, you may not have the ability to watch it ahead of time. If you are just a cable viewer of Access and are waiting for Thursday, or maybe you just missed all the memos and did not know this was happening, because this only did come about recently. This was a very recent decision. I think even from TNA's point, it's been the last 2 weeks this was decided. But I think it was the right move for all the things we discussed, both on last night's show and after the show, that if you're going to do something major at one of these shows that's taped, the ability to do a live stream, which I was talking to the guy today that handles a lot of that, that's a whole nother thing. Like, it's not your normal tapings when you do live's very different. But
that's another beast.
Like, I know a lot of the TNA fans want more and more live content. You got it tonight. It was an interesting way of doing it, and that's what they're being creative.
And I suppose this is also a way to kind of, if they're planning on doing this eventually on a regular basis, this is the way to get the, all the little things in check. Just for stuff like this, like, okay, we're probably not doing a whole show. I don't know how much they broadcasted tonight, Bill, because I got home and I saw the footage on the Twitter box. That's how I got my news, because I got home after.
It aired like how it would on the app as is. Like, it was probably an hour and 40 minutes ish. So because there weren't really the commercials that you would normally get. I think they may have went to sponsorships or like advertising on the app, from what I could see in the arena, maybe once, maybe twice. But it seemed pretty limited.
Okay. So now I also heard reportings of some fight that broke out because I saw TNA post on video saying, hey, if anyone has footage of a fight that broke out.
If you look at that on social media, there's already some responses with some video. And I was standing in the lobby, not where that happened, but I could hear it because you heard some loud yelling. And then I saw one of the individuals that's talking about it, and that's a very elegant individual, Ash by Elegance, was getting into it with some knockouts.
Oh, okay.
Because I was standing more closer to where the Elegance meet and greet table was, which was on the other side of the building. But all of a sudden, you just heard a big commotion, and then she was coming with security and all to there. So it's like, I wonder what happened.
Okay. So I'm guessing whatever happened was filmed for TV. I'm guessing.
I believe our maybe even in the chat, our good friend Kevin Martin was filming some stuff. So I think you'll see hopefully some quality video from Kevin. I think he may have caught what happened on camera as the cameraman that he is.
Right. So I'm assuming someone approached someone.
Well, I believe if you look at Ash's her current feed, I think she's kind of saying like she went out. I believe it's the Inspiration that she had beef with, and she was going after the Inspiration, I believe.
Let me tell you, that's a fight I want to see, Bill.
Elegance, Inspiration going at
it. Nice. So, okay. So there's that little bit of stuff that happened that I kind of wanted to touch on before we get into the news. Okay. Just to give people a chance to either get in here or get lost if they don't want to know. So,
hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks, buddy. All right. So there you go. That is some stuff that I'm sure fans want to see.
And we also have some big injury news, J-Bone.
Oh, there's something that happened tonight?
No, or something that happened on NXT.
Oh.
Because I believe it's official that he went under the knife, got the surgery. So Pittsburgh's own Elijah sounds like he's going to be out for a bit.
Oh, man. So we discussed this last night that tonight they were supposed to celebrate his birthday.
Correct. That did not happen.
So then when they started putting out on social media what was all going to be promoted for tonight and tomorrow night's tapings, he was nowhere to be seen, in all the matches or whatever, or going to be in action, So yeah, that's an unfortunate sign right there.
The hometown man, literally the hometown man.
Yeah. Oh, and he would have looked different too if he came out in a mask and whatever that other guy was wearing. Yet to be determined.
Who has merch, J-Bone?
No way.
Go on the site, J-Bone.
Are you serious?
Go on the site.
You're kidding me. Oh,
you might have to share screen Rooney it because it is maybe the
sweet.
next best piece of merchandise since the Carlos hat.
The president's hat?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay, give me a second. Oh, you have got
take my money.
Bro. I know I'm sounding like you know who. Give me a second here.
He's a hometown man.
He is.
Hometown man.
But his name is the actual person's name is nowhere in the description, so that's interesting. So, okay, give me a second. Share screen. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Hometown band. And so it's in maroon, black, navy, purple, forest green, and dark chocolate. Ladies and gentlemen, who wants
Whatever
some?
your hometown colors are, the hometown man will oblige.
I want some sexual chocolate. All right. Look at this. The hometown. This is a close-up of the design. This is okay, that's a little creepy, but this is actually really cool. It's got the red and yellow or gold or whatever, design. That's on the maroon. That's the black. That's the purple.
Ooh,
I don't know.
Tempe colors.
I don't know if purple works. That's the green. So that's almost looks like Packer colors there.
Whatever your hometown.
And that, yeah, right. And then that's the brown. I would probably go with red or black. The maroon actually doesn't look too bad because it's not like the bright red gets faded out with the red. So red or black, that's my. But yeah, that's actually really, that design's pretty cool. So it's a goofy close up of the face, lots of lightning, the mask, and then the big lettering, and of course the logo on the side of the sleeve, which I think is great.
Yeah, the new standard. I like that.
Yeah.
I
almost hit the
on the back of the shirt.
I almost hit the wrong thing here. Oops. Okay. Ivan Woods, I heard about it. I'm going to be watching it after this. I'm going to turn on some SmackDown. But basically, I heard that John Cena pulled a CM Punk and dropped his own version of the pipe bomb from about 12 years ago. So, yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
I heard he mentioned some TNA wrestlers.
Yeah, he mentioned Claudio.
Oh, he's not.
And
come on, man.
Claudio and like two others. I forget who I read. I read about it and I was like, "What?" So I don't know exactly what the content was, but I'm assuming it was very much like CM Punk's classic pipe bomb where he was sitting there, which I think is freaking hilarious. I can't wait to see this. See this stuff is gold. So, okay, here we go. Drum roll, Bill. The debut tonight. John Cena. No, I'm kidding. Cedric Alexander debuted tonight on TNA following a match that was happening between. This is post-match, right, Bill?
Correct.
Post-match between Mustafa Ali, excuse me, and you always got to say it right, and
John Skyler.
John Skyler, one half of the Great Hands. So, which was, they said the match is going to happen next week, which is the tapings, and a lot of people, because of what happened at the summit on this last episode last night, they didn't say who it was, but Mustafa Ali told Tasha Steelz, "Give me your phone." It's like, oh hell no! What are you doing?
Don't want to find J-Bone.
Oh, what kind of shenanigans is going on here? He's like, stop texting this guy or stop calling this guy. It's like, who do you think you are? My goodness. So, sure enough, said person was bound to show up tonight, and they did. And yeah, from the short amount of footage, like 30 seconds that I saw online, Ali basically looked like he filled his pants upon the arrival of Cedric Alexander. He was like, oh, like just the life, the soul left him, Bill. The soul just left him. He was just
waiting for the you.
You. I love it. I almost got goosebumps there. I love it. You know, he comes in the ring, brother. No kidding. So, Bill, you were there live. What was the live reaction like?
Well, first of all, since it was going live, that changes everything. The whole dynamic of the show is different when it's live. If it's a pay-per-view, if it's a live Impact, from the people, the wrestlers, to the staff, to the fans, everything's different. So there was already more of a buzz because of the live aspect. And now this is a different live aspect, one we haven't seen before, where it's like live through one source. Was how this show was. But I know a lot of the TNI fam was on Cedric. I know there was reports of TNA interest in Cedric from like PW Insider and Mike Johnson and all. So there was definitely discussions. There is that history at 205 Live where they've gone up against each other. He dethroned him as champion. So they have history.
That goes back. And I tell you what, man, I don't remember, and pardon me for saying this, I don't remember a lot of the classic cruiserweight stuff from Ali, but I remember distinctly what happened with Cedric Alexander during the tournament, the Cruiserweight Classic. And even though he lost in the tournament, the way the crowd reacted to him, I think got him signed, because Triple H came out and was like, hey, don't worry, we won't disappoint you. And yeah, they signed him, you know. So I remember that. That made me a fan.
And I think he had a lot of fans there. Good reaction to coming out. And I think he's going to be a very nice addition to the roster there. Like I obviously, my experience with Cedric is mainly during his Ring of Honor run. Saw a lot of him at Ring of Honor shows coming up. So definitely in ring, very talented. I think he's gotten, obviously, the WWE run got him more exposure on the mic and things like that. So he's I think set up to have a very good. And hey, look at Ali's feuds since he's been in TNA, and they're some of the best feuds. Like him and Santana had the best feud in the company. So
right, that is, in my professional podcasting opinion, I would say that feud is worthy for one of the feuds of the year.
Correct. So, like, you can't come into a better spot. They have history, so it writes itself. So I'm game for it. I think Cedric's going to be, and hey, we know a lot of people made reckless speculation that he was going to wind up in the company where another one of group he was in is, because that just has to happen. But I think he's going to get a much better spot here, because there he'd be one of the guys, if you can even get on TV, because we know how difficult it is for some other very talented former TNA individuals that should be main event or near main event and barely on TV. He's going to get a place to show, because almost everybody on the roster gets an opportunity to shine in TNA.
Right.
With only a 2-hour show and explosion.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. They've got some great content creators, and look, I may be biased, Bill, but I feel like whatever Cedric Alexander is going to do would absolutely outshine anything he would do in AEW.
Well, yeah, because he would have been the other guy in a group. If he's lucky.
Right. He would have been I'll just throw out a term. He'd have been like the third wheel.
Yeah.
Or in this case, the fourth wheel. You know?
Not a great spot. Not a great spot.
No, because
you might get a lot of money and you might get a nice schedule maybe, but
right.
here you're going to be given a platform. And I think that makes me go, you know what? He was looking at that. Like, he wants to have a platform. And I give kudos to that.
Yeah. There's,
He's
you're certainly, you're certainly going to accomplish different things in different companies. You're going to have a different audience, obviously. And, look, it's, if Cedric Alexander, in the time that he was in WWE, saved up a ton, and hopefully he did, then maybe, he is going to pick a company like TNA that maybe doesn't pay as much as, say, Tony would, hopefully that'll change in the future if TNA, I just say if, because you never know what's going to happen. If TNA gets a solid TV deal within the next year or two,
But I got to imagine, with obviously the amount of individuals we've been seeing, like we talked the other day about all the recent knockout editions, and just a lot of it, like Ali being signed, Cardona being close to full time at this point. I think you're seeing. Definitely. Like, we know there were some people that left, but it feels like budget-wise, I feel like Anthem is putting more and more into the product. Them going live, it's always more expensive to go live. The venues they're playing, there's definitely an influx, I believe, of cash to promote the company, but also to land that deal we're talking about.
Right.
On a larger platform.
Sometimes when I'm in a little too much of a hurry, I miss certain things.
Oh.
And I'm looking at the date below us and I'm going, oops. So I'm fixing that right now. So
J-Bone's multitasking.
Yeah, I try. I do my best. I'm not perfect. I do my best. So I'm saving. I'm exporting the new one right now. Literally multitasking.
Got your Brew Crew hat on?
I do. Yeah, that was like the first one I grabbed because I'm like, I need to do some shaving. Some manscaping. Oh, wait. We don't have that sponsor anymore. Sorry.
So just shave.
Yeah, just shave. Just boring shave.
Dollar Shave Club. You have
right? Yeah, there we go. Dollar Shave Club. Here we come. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Let me fix this one real quick. Oh,
and let us know your thoughts. If you're watching live or if you're watching this later, add to the comments. What are your thoughts of Cedric Alexander now being in TNA, and what would you like to see him do? Like, obviously, it looks like him and Ali are going to have something going on. But beyond that, do you want to see him maybe go after the X Division title, the World title? Maybe even maybe go through Ali and then they become partners. Go after tag glory.
Yeah, I mean, with the talent that Cedric Alexander has, the future's wide open. So, still multitasking. Hang on.
J-Bone is a multitasker.
I try.
J-Bone's a multitasker.
There you go. Let me know what you think about my multitasking skills. My wife thinks I'm insanely talented with my multitasking skills. The things I can all do at the same time just blows her mind. Like cleaning, no, I'm kidding. So What are we talking about? Oh yeah, Cedric Alexander. So you said the response was positive.
Very positive. Very positive.
Okay. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that happened tonight that you think is worthy for the news? Because I see some stuff popping in the chat that I don't look. Because I don't know because I didn't see it. So, I'll let you confirm it if you want to or not. As far as like a certain other rascal showing up or something like that, did that happen or no?
That I do not believe anything happened on what was aired tonight.
Okay. All right. Then
But Zach Wentz had a match against Ryan Nemeth on the Thursday show, on the live show tonight. But not to my knowledge, like without seeing in person, unless something else was shown that I'm unaware of. But I will not get into. I will never get into taped spoiler discussion.
Okay.
If it aired tonight, game on. And I just gotta highly recommend, if they didn't see it tonight, the street fight main event between first class AJ Francis and Mike
Santana. Yeah, I had a feeling that was gonna be hot.
And just FYI, for as an enticement to watch, AJ Francis pulls off a Styles Clash in this match.
What? No.
I may have leaped in the air when I saw that happen.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Wow, that's crazy. Pardon my phone. So I did see one other piece of news, and I'm just kind of quickly scrolling through stuff here. I'm not, and it'll probably get announced within the next day or two. Oh, hello, kitty. So I read tonight, and I saw a post, and I'm not seeing it readily available, so I'm not going to waste any more time.
Okay.
But so basically, looks like what was advertised tonight at the show, or at least during the live broadcast on the app, is that there are a bunch of new sponsors that TNA is going to start using over the course of the next month.
Yeah, I believe a lot of them are more local, regional type sponsors, but yes.
Oh, okay. And I love to see that. That's great. That's that shows that people want to be attached to this brand. I don't care how big or,
At this point, J-Bone, because we are talking about some stuff that happened on the show, like we are going to have the normal Thursday review coming up.
Right.
I actually will only be guesting because I'll be up in New York this Thursday for another show. So I will be in and out at best. So we should say some of the things that have now impacted Slammiversary, because the show opened with Joe Hendry talking about the world title, and Santino came out and said that he will be fighting for the world title at Slammiversary. So that is confirmed.
Oh, that is big. Okay, so that is, just so you know, that is on the website.
Okay. Yeah, I think
that is on the
since they aired it tonight. That is official. So, and
yeah,
also,
it says Joe Hendry looks to reclaim the TNA World Championship at Slammiversary.
Yep.
So, and it talks about the sneak peek that was tonight. So, okay.
Yeah, so
continue.
Also, there was that battle royal with the knockouts for a number one contendership.
Oh, yes.
And that was won by that individual I mentioned earlier with the meet and greet kerfuffle, and that was Ash by Elegance on
Oh,
Battle Royal. And remember, she pinned Masha last week, so she already had a claim at being number one contender, and then won the Battle Royal.
wow.
So it
So
appears
that's
Ash is going to Slammiversary, going after the Knockouts title.
ooh.
But
So
we also, at that point, J-Bone, we had aftermath after Ash won the Battle Royale.
oh, okay.
Masha came out, but also NXT Women's Champion, the return of JC Jane.
Oh,
So take that for what you will. It
interesting.
looks like Slammiversary and the Knockouts title is going to get maybe crowded.
Oh. And we kind of guessed that was going to happen, but I didn't think that NXT was going to be involved.
It feels like NXT could be heavily involved at Slammiversary.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Trick Williams right there is headlining it. Period. Whether he wins or loses, he's headlining it. Yeah. Hi, Ash. Yeah. We're talking a little bit of spoilers. Yeah. We're not saying
spoilers that aired on the app tonight.
Yeah. It's so but we warned people way ahead of time. We talked about some other stuff that happened at the event. My fat cat's just laying here. Say hello, Rocky. Just lift up a tail. So yeah, that has some big Slammiversary connotations for what's going to go down. That's very exciting. I'm very excited to see JC Jane involved. So what you're saying, Bill, is what it sounds like is they're going to have multiple belts on the line. Is that what I'm
about that? I don't know. I think there's going to be multiple individuals in the match. I don't know. Obviously, the TNA title will be up for grabs. I do not know if the NXT title will be up for grabs because they've done a lot of the champion versus one belt, not champion. Like we've seen that obviously with Moose going after Obafemi. Like there's
right.
Sometimes it's both belts, but that can be very politically challenging in this relationship because if you're moving multiple sets of belts, that's tough.
Well, yeah, because it's not just, so and so won. No, you have to deal with, number one, NXT deals with a live crowd almost every single week, and TNA deals with taped stuff. So you got to figure out what is showing when, what people are going to see when, on what date, and what's getting taped when, and that's
just like tonight. I think you're going to see more and more live content from TNA.
Yeah. And that's great. That just makes the brand feel more must see. Because that means stuff's going down,
It's going down.
It's going down. Oreo is probably around the corner with my better half. So
Oreo doing Oreo things.
She is. She's not like last night. She was, walking behind my computer seconds before we went live and just, talking. And I was just, and then you heard me laughing as, we're about to sound off the intro. So, yeah. Live podcasting at its best. So, well, anything else? I don't know how long you wanted to go live. You drove a lot today. I'm sure you're tired. It is quite late. It's after midnight here. It's after 1 by you. We have a nice little audience here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Please smash that like button if you're digging the content, and give us a sub. We don't do these a lot, but we kind of had a feeling something special was going to happen tonight at the tapings, and we knew people were going to be talking about it, so we're like, let's just go live, So
do it.
So if you're digging the content, give us a sub and smash that like button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when we go live. Anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here, Bill? Because we don't got to talk about everything you saw tonight, but anything of take two. Anything of significance you think people are gonna, be talking around the cooler tomorrow?
Well, one thing, but you would only know from being there live. But it's something like something that they might be. Well, they definitely did here, but they had a hype man, like with the crowd, to kind of like get them engaged, get like sort of like what they would have the ring announcer do all of. But you're doing so many different jobs. They had someone actually kind of like just doing that, like the old like, hey, let's get ready, let's go. And then like what's coming up, just kind of going on the microphone, like who the meet and greets are, like about the app, let your friends know, like all that stuff, like, which once again, like sometimes you have ring announcer do it or somebody else do it, but just adding another facet to the live production. So that's something that they were definitely introducing tonight. We'll see, but I thought it was good. I thought it helped. Like any way you can engage the fans is always good. Did see the president, Carlos Silva, came out before the show started, and as he is online, very personable with people there, which is great to see. Like I said, I've interacted with most of the previous presidents, and they all had different things too. But I'll tell you, Carlos, he seems very involved, very hands-on, which is
that's good.
Nice. Like he's very invested in it. Like
that's good.
Like, the perception or something, like if he's just a suit that's like kind of just overseeing it, he is not doing that. He is heavily involved. Which
great.
And
that is good because it's different people have different histories doing different jobs. So what you hope is that so-and-so is not just going to be a suit behind a desk. You want them in the trenches with the people, talking to the fans.
Yeah, and it's more about like obviously the presentation, the experience, and all that. Like obviously he's letting a lot of the wrestling people handle a lot of that. And I was hearing very good things about the interactions working with people at WWE, which is good to hear. Because obviously you look at the NXT shows of recent weeks, J-Bone. Multiple TNA storylines are on that show. Like I know there's always going to be people that aren't happy with things, but if that's not a partnership, I don't know what is. Because you're on, like, that's how it feels like TNA with limited one major show a week, but yet it feels like they have all this stuff going on because they're on a lot of NXT programming as well, and vice versa. So that's how it's supposed to work, and that's how it is working. So I think you're going to see a lot of that as we build and at Slammiversary.
That's good. That's good. And that's definitely a positive for TNA because TNA has been in the news a lot lately with a lot of different people taking a lot of different positions, shifting around of positions and stuff. And that I'm sure a lot of people, saw that and were like, is this all okay? And it's like, sometimes positions are temporary just to get positions filled until you get someone better lined up for the seat at hand, you know. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know, someone's got to exit. Someone's got to exit.
Yeah, any small company, middle-sized company, that's how it goes. Like, you got to wear a lot of hats. You got to be able to adapt and have maneuverability, optionality to do things, and that just like anything else, that's what TNA's done. And hey, we were just talking about it yesterday. 23 years, J-Bone, and no end in sight, which is great to see because I've been there where it felt like this could be the last show. And it didn't happen. Hard to kill. That's what TNA's always been, and they're going to continue to be that. And like right now, like with the amount of touring and cities are doing, and obviously it's been announced they're going to go to 3 new cities that they haven't been to. So just great things on the horizon.
Yeah. Mr. Rosario says, did you guys see that TNA has announced new broadcast partners starting next month?
I believe those are those regional I believe they're regional. I know because there was some stuff kind of advertised there, like some stuff, some signage you could see that mentioned some of these. I didn't go too far into it, but I know it's out there on the socials.
Okay. So, all right. So yeah, that's about it for tonight. I know it's late. I didn't want to go too long. I certainly wanted to keep it under an hour because there's only so much you could talk about. But I know we were going to talk more.
Without going the full show, which hopefully a moved-in Alicia from her new abode might be available on Thursday. If not, J-Bone, I might be leaving you a little high and dry because I will not be that available on Thursday. So hopefully it all goes smooth.
Okay. Yeah. Well, either way,
like your head will be by then.
That's right. It's time to wax on, wax off. All right. But yeah, we'll be back next Thursday, and I'm sure Team TNI UK is going to have their opinions on the news that broke tonight too, and I can't wait to hear what they say about it too. So saying that Alicia needs to watch NXT. Yeah, she's not going to do that. Maybe someday, but for now, no.
It is becoming more like there's definitely more crossover, and that's always interesting because we've talked about it since it started. Like, because there's been people that are NXT fans that will wind up coming and watching the TNI show because they're TNA and vice versa. And I'll say the same thing. Like, if I know it's advertised that there's some TNA stuff going on, I will watch NXT. If I don't hear anything advertised, usually I don't. Unless I find out it's a surprise and someone's there, then I'll make sure to go and check it out. But like I said, I'm much more familiar now with a lot of the NXT roster than I was. Although that is an evolving thing since they do make a lot of changes there. They introduce a lot of new people. That's the point of that brand. But like it is a lot of talent that goes through there. Like obviously they're training and molding a lot of that talent. But there's a lot of established people there that have been there for quite a while. But you can tell, like, obviously our champion, Trick Williams, like that's a guy that's gotten a lot of buzz there the last couple of years, constantly improving.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we've talked about it here. Like this whole thing with him at TNA, like that guy is going to be a main event star there with 20,000 seat arenas on the regular. And he's really honing his craft now in TNA as the guy, as he is right now. And like, we're going to look at that in a couple of years and be like, that was a pretty good run. Like, because you see the potential there. Is he 100% finished product yet? No, I wouldn't expect him to be yet. But you can see he has all the tools there.
Oh, yeah. And this is just going to help him grow. So for those that assume that, for those that assume that he was going to go straight to the main roster post NXT title run, and he didn't, and now you see where he is now. This is all just going to help him, because he went from,
they know that, like, because for all like the success stories of NXT to the main roster, I think there's been more ones that don't. Like, it's not a guarantee success at NXT, success in the main roster. It's a very it's a very in the bubble, sheltered view, because it's it's smaller than a lot of old TNA venues. So you really can't get a full grasp of if that person's how over they are. Will that have more of a mass appeal? But now going to some, especially with TNA playing bigger venues and getting some different markets and stuff, they're getting a much better idea on how some of their talent can cross over before they hit the main roster, which is smart on everybody's end.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we are on the road to Slammiversary, and things are absolutely ramping up, folks. We're very excited. For those that maybe came in late, and we warned you about
Someone
spoiler.
debuted?
Someone debuted. Cedric Alexander made his debut tonight, facing off with Mustafa Ali. So very excited about that. And we talked about a couple other odds and ends that happened during the show tonight, and stuff involving the knockouts. Very excited about the future of that between the tag division and, who's going to face off with Masha in the future. That's gonna be gangbusters, folks. I can't wait. So so thank you, Bill, for joining me for this. And we'll be back on Thursday. Yeah. I don't think anything major is gonna happen tomorrow. They didn't talk about a preview for tomorrow. It was just for tonight, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
This was just for a tease for tonight. For, once again, hey, get on the app, and like, you get access like this. You get some special things.
Right.
And I did hear some rumblings of some other big things coming to the app soon. So stay tuned for that. Some way to get maybe some additional perks and things like that. So definitely pay attention to that.
Oh yeah.
I think you're going to see even more. Like, I think over the last year, they've done a ton to really push and promote the app. I think you're going to see even more of that going forward through the summer.
Yeah, they're making it as accessible as possible for people and affordable for people, to
Correct.
give people the opportunity, right?
Now,
3 months here and there, and all sorts of things, and little free previews like this to draw you in. It's all smart.
And once again, this is all to get more people interested, talking, eyes on the product as they continue to look for that bigger platform, TV network, streaming service. We'll see. I have a feeling we're going to see something, like, definitely this year. Will we know it? Slammiversary? I would say definitely by Bound for Glory. I feel, but I feel it's coming. I feel it's coming.
Yeah, definitely by the end of the year. With the growth of the company and the hype behind everything, and the partnership certainly helping. Yeah, something's happening. So
All good.
TNA is going to PBS. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The Martha Stewart channel. No, probably not. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for tuning in. And on your way out, you folks know what to do. Check out the links in the description of the video. Go check out the merch site. Connect with us on social media. Make sure on your way out, smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when more of our content hits your screen. Say goodnight, Bill.
Night.